Our next barrel is going to be Aragonite. It's this lovely brown banded kind. And we do have a bunch of other colors, but this one kind of caught my eye. So we're going to start this one. It's a moles hardness 3 to 3.5. So we'll be dry polishing this at the end. So this is the next one we're going to do. It's pretty cool. Aragonite. Okay. And we'll be back with the next barrel. And we're back with another barrel in our 6090 heavy grit, coarse grit. It is Aragonite, and this happens to be brown banded. And the slurry from this first week that it ran was super, super thick. So I think we had the right combination for the slurry on this one. And we did the first week with no ceramic media because we want to get the most, I don't know, I want to say bang for the buck for the first week. We want to get the most smoothness done. Now this is a softer stone, and it by no means has a smooth texture. As you can see, it feels very grainy, and that's fine. Not everything's going to feel like glass, but there's no sharp edges, and I mean, this is just beautiful. I think after 1 week, in 6090, it's definitely ready for 120. It is really, really pretty. Look at that. Really cool banding pattern. Ooh, what do we have there? That, my friend, is grit. Yikes! I'm gonna have to go wash that. Let's see. These are very nice. These are definitely ready to move. We did not lose a ton of mass with this. Just a little bit. Yeah, see, now you can see where the grit catches. These are going to be problem children. So that one, this one, you're going to need a little bit more 6090 to smooth those spots out. That's got a little bit of grit caught there too. So either these did not get the wash that they needed, the good rinse, or we just saw grit catchers in action. I'm really liking the zoom on this camera. Yeah, see, here's a lot more grit left in there. These are still damp. I mean, I just rinsed them. I did a quick rinse to get things moving. It is January and it is cold outside. But 36 and sunny feels a lot different than 23 and snowy. Anyone that lives in the north can attest to that. Yeah, see, I'm getting a lot of... Yeah, that's why these feel so rough. It's because there's still a lot of grit. Wow. I'm loving these pieces. I'm not seeing super damage, but I am seeing where the grit's catching. Most stones, as you've noticed, because we're what, almost 30 weeks in. You haven't been able to see this example quite so well. When we talk about grit catchers, this is what we're talking about, and that's why it would be held back in 60-90 until those are smooth enough that the grit doesn't hold and catch. I mean, you can see it's all over my fingers. Was a super, super thick slurry. Actually, I think it was our only thick slurry barrel this week. Everything else was pretty thin. And some of the quartzes and even the jaspers had kind of an oily sheen to the surface when I opened the barrel, which was, I felt, interesting, but that's usually in 1000 grit, but I was getting it on everything today. Really nice. I mean, I'm not finding any super negative, horrific pieces, nothing that needs to go into the garden. Or nothing that needs a flat lap adjustment or Dremel adjustment. Banded Aragonite. I have a lot of this Aragonite in different colors. I'm interested to see if it all plays out the same. As we saw with our calcite in the very first run that we did, we had 3 different colors and got 3 different results. There's a druzy pocket. It has opened up. Let's see, make sure we get all the grit out of there. There's some grit there. Yeah, we're actually doing the whole barrel today on camera. Just lovely. Okay, here's the chippage that we got. Not a lot, just these few pieces. Not bad for a soft stone that went in with no ceramic media for cushioning. So I'm going to go get a little tiny cup of water and a toothbrush, and we're going to get the grit out of those other stones because this is a rock tumbling video and this is what you want to learn. All right, we'll be right back. All right, and we are back with our 60-90 toothbrush, some water, and we have our stones that had the grit stuck in it. And we are going to just scrub the devil out of it, get all that grit. You don't want it left in the stone because it'll dry like cement. Oh, there's some right here. The studio's getting a little warm, so I can put all these pieces in the water to keep them damp. There. Let's see all that silicone carbide. Gotta be kind of careful because it doesn't want to flick everywhere. There, we got that grit out of there. So this is a grit catcher. This little area in here, which means it's going back into 60-90 grit again to smooth this out further. We don't want to just move it forward because it'll just continue to get finer and finer grit in there until we won't be able to get it out. There we are. Here's these little pockets. We call them pits. These little pockets, divots, pick a term. See that deep pocket? That's what's catching all that grit. It's a soft stone, so I'm wondering, I mean, it's a pretty deep pocket. See there? See how that fracture line is starting? You almost want to just, you know, snap it off. Put a chisel in there and crack it so we can save most of the stone. We'll be able to save this much. We could garden stone it. I have a really beautiful garden stone, but I'm going to give it one more week in 60-90 and see what happens. It'll either get crushed to dust, or it'll fix the problem, or it won't. Don't know until you try. Again, more grit. Let's flush that out. It's got an interesting little ledge here. It's for an interesting stone. See that ledge? That's where all that grit was just hanging out. That's so cool. Very pretty. And we will see after another week in 60-90 how it does. There's really not enough of this to run a full barrel. And I think I have some more of this left over, so when I run another batch of 60-90 of banded Aragonite, I will throw these in it. It'll just sit and hang out and wait. It's really beautiful. Just such a pretty stone. And this is the last one that we had grit issues with. Kind of see there's still grit in there. Could be druzy, but I kind of doubt it with the composition of the stone. Okay. That is how you clean grit out of pockets. As you can see, there's grit down in here. Little silver bits. That is the 60-90 coarse grit that was trapped in the stones. And that's why we don't want to reuse this toothbrush on any other stone that's not a 60-90 stage, because it will carry forth, because you know there's going to be some stuck in these toothbrush bristles that we're not going to be able to get out. So that's why we label it. So we only use it with stones that are in the same grit, because we don't want to scratch anything. We don't want any contamination, so I actually have a toothbrush for every stage of grit. And I think that's kind of wise. All right, we are going to dump this water outside because even though that's a tiny bit of grit, it'll play havoc on your indoor plumbing and it will seize up like cement, and that'll be a very expensive plumbing bill. So we dump this outside and rinse it outside, and it's cold out there. But that's what we got to do. It is January in Michigan. And we're back with our brown aragonite, and it is looking lovely. It's been 1 week in our medium grit of 120. We only had one piece of broken ceramic media, so that was good. This has a little bit of a rough feel to it still. It's really looking nice. Hang on, let's get a closer zoom on these this week. Alright, now this is damp from being rinsed off. And you can kind of see all that surface texture in the shine there, in the glare. It's the texture of the stone. Or is it the grit? I don't know. You don't see it at all when it's dry. These are looking really nice. And again, the sugar did nothing to thicken the slurry. So there's no point adding it. Wow, these are feeling really, really nice. I mean, you know, other than that weird texture. Not every stone is smooth. Yeah, I think 1 week was enough. I think this is ready to move to 500. What do you know? We have 2 that are ready to move to 500 so far. This is a really interesting stone. Yeah, there's no chippage. I'm not seeing any damage. So we're just going to kind of zip through these here. Oh yeah. These are ready to move forward. Our brown aragonite. Pretty darn happy with this stuff. I mean, it's not giving us any trouble. I hope that the other colors of aragonite will run just as smoothly. Perfect. All right. I'm very, very, very happy. All this lovely, beautiful aragonite is going to get a wash cycle, and it's going to move to 500. Fantastic. All right. We'll be right back with our next barrel. Brown banded aragonite. It has been running in 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish for 1 week. It is a Mohs hardness 3 to 3.5. And it is a very soft stone. Oh, it's feeling amazing though. It's feeling really nice. However, it is getting some pockets. Some really deep pockets. You see that? Almost like it's a hollow stone. Feels really beautiful. Very, 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 very smooth. Now, last week it was feeling gritty. And the week before that it was feeling very gritty and sandy feeling. And it could have been because we didn't rinse it well enough. But wow, this 500 really smoothed the surface to the point where it's just delightful. There's some consistent, gorgeous patterning in this aragonite. Wow, just beautiful. And my thumb is wet, so I keep running it across this stone so it really looks pretty and shiny. Dry my fingers here. Kind of see what it's starting to look like when it's dry. It's kind of half wet, half dry on that corner. Look at that. That is so cool. Now let's see if we can dry it. Even our mat's really wet. Looks a little dusty when it's dry, but you're starting to see some sparkles, some flash in there. Is it wet? It's going to be really super pretty polished. Now, we've got a piece here that is just an amazing problem, and it's a great example to show you. The Druzy Valley opened up to where you can really, really see what's in there. Now we have to be super careful that we're not catching grit. And it's rough right here. You look at the way that rock is formed. Gosh, I just want to get even closer. Let's see if we can adjust. If we do this, go to a 4 times. Yeah, this will give us a good look inside of the stone. Look at the way that it's formed. Kind of looks like a clamshell. It's all druzy inside there. Super cool. I really wanted you guys to see that. Yeah. I'm very happy with this. I would run this stone again. It is turning out really pretty. It's really easy to run. This has got a couple little problems in it that I want to take to the flat lap. You know, I just want to clean up that corner. And since we're going to be doing that, and we're going to have that machine out anyway, might as well. Now it's really super soft stone, so we got to be really careful when we use the machine that we don't, like, you know, accidentally grind it all away. So we got, you know, fairly decent size on these. Didn't lose a whole lot of mass. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera stand. We had a piece in here last week that we thought was going to be a real problem child. Where did it go? I may have held it back. I may have held it back for repair because I'm not seeing it in here. Oop, sorry about that. I do apologize. Alright, that is damaged. And I'm going to take a flat lap to try and fix that. Which means nothing is going to, none of these barrels are going to move forward until I'm finished with my flat lap repairs, because we want to make sure our stones go back in our barrels instead of just sitting out and waiting for someday. This is really rough. The surface on this one, and that you can see kind of how it's pitting. You see how it's pitting. The rest of the stone is super smooth and feels really good, but because it's a divot inside, you'd almost want to use a Dremel tool to repair that, because the flat lap will just take everything down, and we don't want to do that. That would lose half the stone. Where a Dremel, we could just almost make a worry stone out of this. Pretty cool. Aragonite is going to move forward to 1,000. Wow, we're doing really well this week. A lot of stuff's happening. Let's put that back for repair. Put this back in for a wash cycle, and then to move forward. There's a couple little pieces in there that might almost go to Zen Garden, but we'll figure it out. But that can go to 1,000. And let's just make a little note somewhere that's not wet. There, move to 1,000. You'd think you would remember where these barrels are going to go to, but by the time you go through 12 barrels and trying to remember what's in what grit, you really need notes. No, I highly recommend little cheat notes. So what we want to do is see if this banded aragonite, this brown banded aragonite, is ready to move forward to polish. I mean, this is a really busy pattern, and these are dry stones to make it easier to see the imperfections. And we're trying to see if this is ready to move on to polish. This is feeling a little rough. Let's see if we can zoom in. See, that's just the natural patterning of the stone. And it's a softer stone, so we don't want to keep this in, forever, rolling around. It's not like a jasper where it can take it, being a softer stone. Like a Mohs hardness 3.5, I think. And chews away pretty quickly. And the slurry was quite thick, which means we had a lot of mass loss. Oh, this one feels good. It's easier to see or feel than to see. If everything feels really smooth and you don't feel any damaged parts or any real rough exterior, then it's ready to go to polish. Sometimes our eye can fool us. I don't know if this needs another week in 1,000 or not. Let's see, has it only been 1 week in 1,000? It's only been 1 week in 1,000. This is going to go into a dry polish, not a wet polish. That dry polish is the aluminum oxide, but it's with corn cob instead of water. Curious to see how long it's going to take to polish these to get them that really nice high shine. See this one, I could feel a pit. See, we've got this, my fingernail gets caught. A little bit of a druzy pocket. Really pretty. Doesn't have that glass smooth. It has a little bit, it's very smooth, but it has a tiny bit of a texture to it. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to turn out. Yeah, see, that's not going to polish. I'd do something about those pits. You can kind of see a little bit of a flash starting. And it hasn't even gone to polish yet. So you're getting a little bit of shine. That one feels really good. So this was in a 1.5 pound barrel, which is our smallest barrel. So there's not a whole lot of product here. But still, yeah, we just got a couple pieces left to go through. So let me know in the comments if you want to see us go through every single piece in a barrel, or if you just want a sampling. Because all I know, these videos are over, like, usually an hour or more. And that's after editing out. That one's a little rough. There's a little tiny bit of wet on here. Let's see how it's starting to shine. Pretty cool. Cool, cool, cool. It's got a hole. So some of these that have their natural druzy pockets in them, if they're large enough that they can be well cleaned, I'll move them forward to polish. If not, I have to work on them a little bit. Either I have to make decisions on whether or not it's worth, has enough mass left to work on to, like, maybe smooth off a corner that's causing a problem, or if it's just going to have to go to garden stones. This has got just a little corner that's rough, and the rest of the stone feels really good. But it's just this one little spot. Okay, that's it for our Aragonite. So this is ready to move on to polish, to a dry polish barrel. Ooh, where'd our focus go? There we go. These, I need to do a tiny bit of touch up. And it's all same with these, actually. All of these I have to make a decision on whether they're going to go forward or not. So it'd be nice to be able to add them to this pile, because this is a pretty small pile. You can just see it's like, you know, it's a little. But it'll be enough for a 1.5 pound barrel in dry polish. And here's our Aragonite repair that was in 1000. We had gone through the ceramic media, everything looks really good. We ran this in 1000 another week because it got beat up and polished with a broken stone. So now we want to see what it looks like. Let's dry them off. Get a good look at it here. Super smooth. Oh my gosh. Super smooth. Oh yeah. Much better. The repairs have happened. There's no more broken media in here. The broken stone was removed. Nothing else broke this round. Our brown banded Aragonite. It's looking absolutely wonderful. And it's also ready to go in a burnish cycle and go to polish. We're moving really quick today. Alrighty, we'll be back. Alright, we are back with our polish barrels. We only have one in dry polish this week, and it's our Aragonite, and I'm not 100% sure this is going to turn out. I'm a little nervous. Let's see what we have here. Well, it has a polish. Look at that shine. Not happy about the condition of the stone, though. It looks really beat up. It feels super smooth. Let's see if we can pull out another one. Oh, lovely polish. It's turning out better than I thought it would. Gotta admit. It is a super soft stone. And I don't think we had any that were big. I think they were all about the same size. Get some of this polish off. Well, it's going to need a burnish cycle. Get rid of all this dry polish. Not really 100% happy. I'm going to call it a success, but the condition of the stone when it went in was a little iffy. And I think I was just so sick of it wearing away and all the problems that we had with this that I was just in a hurry to get rid of it. Like, see, I don't think that looks all that pretty. And frankly, it's not polished, it's broken. Great. I'm gonna have to dig through and find that broken piece. I think I'll use a sifter. Yeah, see, some of these edges, they're just not really pretty. You can see how there's been some chipping in the barrel. Let's see if we can zoom in. See that chip? Wherever that chip landed, it would damage stone. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, there's just damage. This entire barrel's damaged. But you know what? I'm done with it. I'm just going to call it a non-success. Or a failure, if you will. I think I was just too rough on the stone all the way through. Yeah. I mean, there's good polish where it's smooth. But boy, these edges are all beat to hell. Okay, I'm going to dig these stones out, clean it up, wash them off, and be done with it. And I'm going to go through all this corn cob, see if I can find where the chippage happened. Yeah, I'm going to have to use a sifter because it's so fine. Alright, well, it's a bummer the Aragonite didn't turn out. Because I think it's a pretty stone. But, yeah, even polished, it's not that great. That's a